Warning: the following video contains facts, but also rumors and potential leaks. Take the rumors with a grain of salt. You have been warned.
Halo got canceled on Paramount Plus, and then later it landed on Netflix and was in the top 5 in the same week. I think that says a lot about both Paramount and Halo. I think one of the biggest issues that the Halo TV show had from the get-go was going on Paramount, and once it got to a platform with, a ton of people on it, people were interested. People want a good Halo show or movie, and Microsoft knows that. We have a remake coming in like less than 5 weeks, and a ton of rumors that there's more in motion behind that. Matt Booty keeps talking about investing more and more into Halo. So, is Halo actually turning a corner, or is this just another case of a company saying the quote-unquote right things while it figures out what it actually wants to happen? Before we get into all that, if you're new here, my name's HoloTide. I could be your third favorite Halo YouTuber. All you have to do is subscribe. There's only like 7 Halo YouTubers out there. And if you have a take on any of this, let me know in the comments down below. I read all of them. Just be respectful. In this video, we're going to talk about the TV show, Campaign Evolved, the other remakes in the pipeline, the Certain Affinity game, the next Halo campaign, and this MMO FPS Halo shooter. So first off, let's talk about the show. Paramount canceled the show after season 2. Netflix picked it up. Within days, it was in the top 5 in US viewership. I don't think that anybody at Microsoft thought that that would happen, so that's kind of why it's interesting. But again, like, people crave good Halo content, and I highly doubt people were going to just pick up Paramount Plus just to watch one show. So once it came to Netflix, and there's a ton of people with Netflix accounts already, of course, people were going to watch it. Xbox's chief content officer, Matt Booty, got asked about it literally directly in an interview and gave the kind of answer that executives give when they don't really want to commit to anything, but he also knows the importance of Halo, so he doesn't want to just be like straight up no. He called Halo one of the company's biggest franchises and said they'd keep investing in it. So that's not him saying, yeah, we're going to make season 3 or we're going to reboot the show. But of course, companies, journalists and stuff are going to run with that. There's actually a brand new article out talking about Steven Spielberg's sci-fi video game adaptation gets hopeful return after 2 years of controversial cancellation. This was done by Screen Rant, which is kind of different. But in this article, they also quote the Entertainment Weekly interview with Matt Booty. Now, I'm not sure what the correlation is with him going to Steven Spielberg, or if it's just, CTR and keywords and all that stuff. But Spielberg's name was attached to the original series like years ago. And there's also been that script that was leaked with Alex Garland, and it was like a darker and more faithful version of Halo than what we got with the Halo TV show. And we know that like Fallout is on HBO and all that stuff. So I don't know if Netflix's numbers are enough to make a case to Microsoft to invest more money into making a Halo show, if the live action show was just the wrong choice, if they should go with more of an animated show. Who knows what's actually going on in those boardroom meetings, but to me, it's a no-brainer. I think a Halo anime would just do absolute numbers. You saw Cyberpunk and stuff like that. Halo, to me, is harder to do in live action, especially with Spartans. Like, I would love to see, if it was live action, an ODST show, and I've tweeted that multiple times. John Barenthal and stuff, I think, would be a perfect ODST. I think that would print money, make it darker, make it for adults. Easy peasy. Most Halo fans are old anyway, so make it rated R and just go with it. Make a flood horror show or movie. It prints money if it's just done right. On the other side of all of that, there's actually something concrete to point at, and that's Halo Campaign Evolved, the remake of Combat Evolved. Early access for that game is coming July 23rd. The full release is July 28th. It's going to be on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. Nuts. Still crazy to think about a Halo game launching on PlayStation at release. And this game will have new missions for, the prequel side of things, new lore. There's leaks and rumors and people looking at art and the ODST. We've got a new Covenant faction that's way more zealous and religious than the OG Covenant. So that's very cool. But with Campaign Evolved, I think it's easy to assume that we're going to get more remakes. Even if this isn't a huge seller, it's going to happen. Now, a lot of leakers and quote unquote journalists have said that Halo 2 and Halo 3 remakes are in early development. That's kind of the reason why we get Brutes and Campaign Evolved. Halo 2 already got an anniversary. Combat Evolved had, CEA and stuff, and now Campaign Evolved. Halo 3 never got one, so they're, just doubling up on it. And we know that 343/Halo Industries were utilizing outside studios to do a lot of the heavy lifting on the Campaign Evolved remake. So I assume that that's going to be the same with 2 and 3. It's not really their focus. Obviously, they're working on something in the background. As for certain Affinity and their Battle Royale extraction shooter mode, there hasn't been a lot of updates. And to be quite honest, I think that maybe that has run its course. I've seen rumors about certain Affinity is more worried about staying open than developing any type of Halo stuff, which is super unfortunate. I also think that the extraction shooter market is just kind of run its course, man. Arc Raiders, dominated for a little bit, and even with that game, it's fallen off. Marathon, not a huge player base. Tarkov, not a huge player base. I think that extraction shooter versus something like even a battle royale, even though people say that BRs are dead, which they are not, it's just not the right type of market to invest, hundreds of $1,000,000 into and expect a return on that. Now, whether Tatanka/Eker actually ships as a standalone game, if they're actually working on it, or if it's just getting folded into whatever the next Halo turns out to be, it's unclear. And there's not really a lot of evidence or real concrete evidence to suggest that it is going to be released ever. There's also leaks about the next Halo campaign coming from Halo Studios. There's been job listings, and a dev's public profile has been referenced to work on a brand new mainline Halo title, just, something called Halo Next. There's also been rumors that the next Halo campaign is actually not going to be Halo 7, but rather like an ODST 2. Take that with a grain of salt, like everything else in this video, but a lot of these sources are people that I trust. Then there's the Halo MMO rumor, which started as a Reddit post claiming Obsidian pitched that idea, and Phil Spencer said, "Yes, I like Destiny, let's do this." There's been no job postings, nothing really concrete coming from anybody. It's just a, a secondhand kind of claim. I've actually seen a lot of people excited for this just because Destiny 2 is ending and there is no Destiny 3. I think that there is a huge untapped market going forward for people like that, and I could absolutely see Destiny fans moving over to a Halo MMO FPS. The problem is those games cost so much money, and that's just not to develop it, that's to keep it running, for years and years and years. So I don't know if it was barely profitable and kept the Halo name out there and helped them generate Xbox sales and stuff like that. I think they would be okay with it just because they print money in other parts of Microsoft. And I know Xbox has been running in the negative for a couple years, and they're cutting studios and stuff to kind of fix that. It's just so expensive to maintain games and develop games and to pay all the employees. I mean, when these studios balloon up to over 1,000 employees, it's just crazy. So where does all of this leave things? We got one confirmed game with a release date that's actually coming out with Campaign Evolved. There's a ton of rumors about remakes coming from, other leakers and stuff like that. The Certain Affinity extraction shooter doesn't really seem to be a thing at this point. I would actually be surprised if it came out as a standalone game. I do think that they're working on some type of multiplayer, and I hope that it doesn't take half a decade to come out. But I could see the extraction mode maybe being just a game mode within that. We got an MMO FPS rumor that's, kind of wishful thinking at this point. But All of this is to say that Microsoft is clearly putting resources back into this franchise. After years of treating it and many other games like an afterthought, but resources and a coherent plan and vision are not the same thing, and we don't know what Halo is actually getting at this point. But if Campaign Evolved sells the way Microsoft needs it to, Halo is back on people's minds again. I can definitely see Halo stuff getting accelerated and them pumping out Halo content. Hopefully. If it doesn't, I don't know, man. But that's going to do it for the video. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like down below. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.